Hello and welcome to Satish Navdrishti. Today we are stepping into one of the most defining conversations of our digital age. We now live in a world where data is no longer just information, it is currency. AI is no longer just computation, it is power. And trust, quite invisible, fragile, has become the new national asset. Across the world, the rules of digital governance are being rewritten in real time. The EU is tightening its grip with GDPR and the AI Act. The US is racing ahead with sector driven frameworks. China is building a state centric model of algorithmic control. And nations from Singapore to Brazil are crafting hybrid systems that blend innovation with oversight. But here is the twist. As intelligence becomes agentic, as machines begin to act, decide, negotiate, and influence, the threats we face don't just grow in size, they mutate. They become faster, more autonomous, and dangerously unpredictable. And in this global churn, India stands at a crossroads. The Digital Personal Data Protection Act is a bold beginning, but the world is moving at the speed of AI, and our guardrails must evolve just as fast. So today let's decode the Digital Personal Protection Data Act, DPDP. Let's examine where it leads, where it lags, and where it must leap. And let's explore what India needs to do, not just to protect its citizens, but to lead responsibly in an era where intelligence itself has gone agentic. The DPDP Act, passed in 2023, is India's first bold leap toward a trust driven digital civilization, a future where data empowers citizens, not exploits them. And now, with full operational rollout from November 2025, the Act stands on four powerful pillars. Pillars shaped by global best practices, yet unmistakably rooted in India's democratic soul. First, consent and transparency, because every citizen deserves to know how, why, and where their data is being used. The EU calls it informed consent, the US calls it notice and choice, India calls it Nyay, justice in the digital realm. Second, purpose limitation, because data must never drift beyond the purpose for which it was collected. No mission creep, no silent repurposing, no algorithm overreach. Third, data minimization, because the safest data is the data you never collect. Singapore champions it, Japan enforces it, India now builds it into the core of its digital architecture. And lastly, security and accountability. Because in a digital nation, protection isn't a feature, it is the foundation of trust. From Europe's massive GDPR penalties to Australia's breach response mandates, the world is raising the bar. And India is stepping confidently onto that global stage with guardrails of its own. To uphold these principles, India has established an independent data protection board, a true watchdog for the algorithmic age, empowered to enforce compliance, resolve disputes, and protect citizens' rights with speed and clarity. In simple terms, this is India telling the world innovation is welcome, exploitation is not. And in the age of AI, trust is India's greatest competitive advantage. The DPDP Act creates a delicate but decisive balance between two powerful forces shaping our digital future. On one side stand the data fiduciaries, the organizations, platforms, and institutions that collect and process our data. On the other side stand the data principals, the citizens, the individuals, the true owners of that data. And for the first time in India's digital history, every citizen gains real, enforceable, actionable rights. The right to access their data, the right to correct inaccuracies, the right to erase what no longer serves a purpose, and the right to withdraw consent fully, freely, and without friction. Globally, these rights echo the strongest protections in the world, from Europe's GDPR to Brazil's LGPD, but India brings them to scale for over a billion people. Meanwhile, organizations must now do more than innovate. They must earn trust. They must demonstrate accountability. And if they fail, the consequences are not symbolic. Penalties can rise up to rupees 250 crore. placing India amongst the world's toughest enforcement regimes. This is not a gentle nudge. This is a line in the sand, a clear message for every player in the digital economy. Respect the citizen or face the consequences. But here is the twist in the act. The DPDP Act protects personal data, but it does not fully understand the world of AI, a world where decisions are automated, patterns are inferred, and outcomes are shaped without a single human in the loop. And three major gaps stand out, gaps that world is already struggling with. Automated decision making. AI systems today approve loans, screen resumes, flag fraud, and even influence policing. Yet under the DPDP Act, there is no transparency, no explainability, no right to challenge an AI only decision. The EU's AI Act mandates explanations. Canada demands human oversight. But India is still silent. Algorithmic bias and fairness. AI can discriminate quietly, invisibly, and at scale. Biased hiring tools, distorted credit scoring, unequal healthcare predictions. Yet the Act does not mandate fairness audits or bias testings. The US, UK, and Singapore are already pushing for algorithmic accountability. India must catch up. AI training datasets. Modern AI learns from massive datasets, often scrapped from the open internet, millions of images, posts, comments, and profiles, all fed into training pipelines. But how do you apply consent to data that is public, scattered, and created over decades? This is a global puzzle from Europe's copyright battles to America's class action lawsuits. And these gaps matter because AI doesn't just process data, AI shapes outcomes. No doubt, India wants to be an AI powerhouse, but before we sprint ahead, we must confront four uncomfortable truths. Truths that every serious digital nation is wrestling with. Data quality and availability. Our data is fragmented, unstructured, inconsistent. The US has rich enterprise datasets. China has massive centralized data ecosystems. Europe has high quality, well governed data pools. India still struggles with patchy, siloed information. Privacy and discrimination risks. In a country as diverse and unequal as India, bias isn't a small risk, it's a national challenge. AI can amplify caste, gender, linguistic, and regional disparities unless we build fairness into the system from day one. Infrastructure and talent gaps. Yes, we have talent, some of the best in the world, but we don't yet have enough deep AI researchers. We don't have enough compute infrastructure, and we don't have the scale of AI labs that the US, China, or even the EU are investing in. Competitive disadvantage. While the US and China sprint ahead with trillion-dollar AI ecosystems, regulatory uncertainty and slow policy evolution can hold India back. If we hesitate, we lose momentum. If we delay, we lose advantage. And here is the hard truth. If we don't act now, we risk becoming AI users, not AI creators. The good news is that the government is listening. The DPDP rules of 2025 were shaped by 6,915 public inputs, one of the rare moments where citizens, startups, researchers, and industry leaders all shaped policy together. A genuine example of collaborative nation building. But even with this progress, industry voices are raising concerns that cannot be ignored. Startups worry that strict consent rules may slow down innovation and product velocity. Researchers want clarity on whether public data can be used for training AI models. AI labs fear that heavy compliance may slow experimentation and reduce India's competitiveness. And these concerns have sparked a growing undeniable consensus across the ecosystem. India needs a dedicated AI regulatory framework, not just an extension of data protection laws, not just a patchwork of guidelines, but a purpose built architecture for the age of intelligent machines. A framework rooted in transparency, explainability, fairness, and accountability. The same principles shaping global AI governance from Brussels to Beijing to Washington. Because if AI is going to shape our future, India must shape the rules that govern AI. India stands at a crossroads. One side lies a future powered by AI automation and machine intelligence, a future of speed, scale, and unprecedented possibility. On the other side lies a future anchored in privacy, ethics, and trust, the values that protect citizens and preserve democracy in a digital world. And the real challenge before us is not choosing one over the other, it is learning to balance both. We need laws that evolve as fast as technology, governance that brings government, industry, and citizens to the same table, and innovations that is bold but responsible. Because this is how India builds a digital economy that is not just powerful but trusted, not just fast but inclusive, not just modern but ethical, a future where intelligence grows and trust grows with it. Let me leave you with this thought. Technology may accelerate the future, but only principled leadership can define it. India's DPDP journey is motion leadership. Because if India gets this right, we won't just adapt to the AI revolution, we will shape it, we will lead it, we will set the standards the world look towards. Thank you for watching this video. And if this added value to your thinking, share and subscribe to Satish Navdrishti, where technology meets wisdom and insights turn into action.